Hello, dear listeners. In just a moment, this story will take you on an adventure while revealing fascinating facts you may have never discovered before. Before we begin, subscribing to the channel would mean a lot and greatly support this journey. Thank you in advance. We are beginning. You're there now. 1 billion years in the future. Not a metaphor, not a simulation, not a dream you can wake from. You are standing on the surface of what was once called Earth, though you would not recognize it. The ground beneath your feet is not ground as you knew it. It is something else entirely. It is ancient beyond comprehension, weathered beyond recognition, transformed by a billion years of relentless time. Look up. The sky is not blue. It has not been blue for hundreds of millions of years. It is rust-colored, a deep, burning orange that stretches from horizon to horizon like a canopy of aged metal. The color is not uniform. It shifts and deepens as you watch, layers of dust suspended in the thin atmosphere catching the light of a dying sun. Near the zenith, it is pale orange, almost yellow. Near the horizon, it darkens to a brown so deep it is nearly black. There are no clouds. There has been no water vapor in this atmosphere for eons. The sky is simply the color of the dust that hangs perpetually in the air, stirred by winds that never stop. The sun hangs in this sky and it is wrong. It is larger than you remember, swollen to nearly twice the size it was in your time. Its light is not the bright white yellow of your memories. It is red, deep red, the color of embers in a dying fire. This is what the sun becomes as it ages, as it exhausts its hydrogen fuel and begins its long transformation toward becoming a red giant. In another billion years, it will swell even further, perhaps engulfing the earth entirely. But for now, it simply hangs there, a baleful eye watching over a dead world. Look around you. Where there were once oceans, there is now nothing but basins. Vast, empty bowls carved into the crust of the planet, stretching hundreds of miles in every direction. You are standing on what was once the floor of an ocean. Try to comprehend that. Miles of water, billions of tons of it, covering this entire region, teeming with life. All of it is gone. Evaporated into space, molecule by molecule, over eons too vast to comprehend. The water molecules that once filled these basins were broken apart by sunlight, their hydrogen escaping into space, their oxygen binding with the rocks to form the rust that colors everything you see. Walk forward. The ground beneath your feet is cracked, parched, split into polygonal shapes that stretch as far as you can see. These are not small cracks. Some of them are inches wide, others feet, others hundreds of feet deep. They form a network that covers the entire surface of the planet, like the skin of some ancient reptile. The cracks are filled with nothing but the same rust-colored dust that covers everything. You kneel down and touch it. The dust is fine, softer than anything you have ever felt, finer than the finest powder. It rises in small clouds around your fingers, then settles back onto the surface as it has done for millions of years. This dust was once rock. It was once mountains, once cliffs, once the foundations of continents. Now it is just dust, stirred by winds that never rest. Look toward the horizon. There are no trees. There are no plants. There is no green of any kind. The last plant on Earth died hundreds of millions of years ago, when the carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere dropped below what photosynthesis required. The last animal died even earlier, when the last oxygen was breathed and not replaced. You are standing on a dead world. A world that was once so alive, so vibrant, so full of noise and motion and color. Now there is nothing. Just dust and wind and a rust-colored sky. The wind picks up. It is not a gentle wind. It is harsh, hot, filled with the same rust-colored dust that covers everything. It stings your face, finds its way into your eyes, your mouth, your lungs. You turn away from it, but it is everywhere. It has always been everywhere. For billions of years, this wind has been the only thing moving on the surface of the planet. It has carved mountains, filled valleys, shaped everything you see. It has no purpose, no intention. It simply is a mechanical consequence of a planet still turning, still heated by a swollen sun. Listen to the wind. It makes a sound, a low moan that seems to come from everywhere at once. It is the only sound on this planet. No birds, no insects, no rustling of leaves. No human voices, no machines, no music. Just the wind, moaning across an empty world. You listen and you realize that this sound has been here for hundreds of millions of years. It was here before you arrived. It will be here after you leave. It is the sound of a world that has outlived everything. You walk toward what was once the edge of the ocean. The ground slopes downward, then rises again, forming a ridge that runs along the old coastline. You climb it, your feet sinking into the dust with each step. The climb is exhausting, not because the slope is steep, but because the air is thin, barely breathable. Each breath is a struggle, each step a labor. Your lungs burn, your heart races, your vision blurs. But you continue because there is nothing else to do. At the top of the ridge, you stop and look out over what was once the land. It is the same as the ocean floor. Cracked, parched, covered in rust-colored dust. There is no difference anymore between land and sea. The planet has become uniform, a single, vast desert stretching around the entire globe. The continents that once defined this world have been worn down by eons of erosion. The mountains that once pierced the sky are now low hills, their peaks rounded, their slopes covered in dust. Everything has been leveled, smoothed, made the same. You try to remember what this place was like in your time. You try to imagine the water, the life, the cities. But the memory is faint, like a dream you had long ago and can barely recall. This place has been dead for so long that even the memory of its life seems inappropriate. This is a world of death, of absence, of silence. Your memories are an intrusion, a ghost haunting a place that has no room for ghosts. The sun continues its slow arc across the sky. It will take hours to set, days perhaps. The days are longer now, stretched by the slowing of Earth's rotation. The moon that once pulled at the tides is gone, drifted away, lost to space. You are alone in a way no human has ever been alone. Not just isolated from other humans, but isolated from life itself. There is nothing alive on this planet but you. The wind moans. The dust shifts. The sun reddens. You stand on the ridge, looking out over a world that was once called Earth. A world that once had oceans, forests, cities. A world that once had you. All of it is gone. All of it is dust. And you are the only witness. This is where you are. This is what you see. This is the rust-colored sky and the dried oceans. This is the world 1 billion years from now. You are still there. 1 billion years in the future. You have left the dried ocean basins behind and walked inland toward where the great cities once stood. The rust-colored sky stretches above you, unchanging, eternal. The wind continues its endless moan, carrying dust that settles on your shoulders, your hair, your skin. You have been walking for what feels like days, though time has lost its meaning in this place. And then you see them, rising from the dust like the ribs of some ancient beast. Metallic ghosts, the skeletons of buildings that once scraped the sky. At first, they are just shapes on the horizon, darker against the rust-colored sky. As you approach, they take form. Steel frames, twisted and bent, reaching toward the heavens like the hands of the dead. The glass that once covered them is long gone, shattered by storms, ground to dust by wind. The concrete that filled them has crumbled, returned to the sand from which it came. Only the metal remains, and even that is not as it was. The metal is rusted. Not the light rust of a few years, but the deep rust of eons. It is red-brown, almost black in places, flaking and peeling. It looks fragile, as if a strong wind might bring it down. Yet it still stands, these metallic ghosts defying time itself. You walk closer, your feet crunching on the dust that covers everything. The first building you reach was once a tower, perhaps 100 stories high. Now it is a twisted frame, its beams bent and broken, its shape barely recognizable. You reach out and touch it. The metal is warm from the sun, rough with rust. A piece flakes off under your fingers, falling to the ground, joining the dust. You look up, following the lines of the frame. At the top, something catches the light. A piece of glass, somehow still intact, somehow still there after 1 billion years. It gleams in the red sunlight, a tiny reminder of what once was. You wonder what room it came from, what office, what apartment. Who looked through it? What did they see? Did they ever imagine that 1 billion years later, someone would stand here looking at their window? You walk on into what was once the heart of the city. The metallic ghosts surround you now, rising on all sides like a forest of dead trees. Some are tall, some short. Some lean precariously as if about to fall. Some have collapsed entirely, their frames lying in twisted heaps on the ground. You pick your way through the debris, stepping over beams that once held up floors, around columns that once supported ceilings. The wind moans through the metal, creating sounds that are almost musical. Whistles and hums, low notes and high. The ghosts are singing, a song of loss and time. You stop and listen, letting the sound wash over you. It is the only music left on this planet. You come to a plaza, once a gathering place for thousands of people. You can see the outline of it, a flat area surrounded by buildings. The ground here is different, paved with stone that has cracked and shifted over eons. Through the cracks, dust is piled up, forming small dunes. You walk across it, your footsteps the first to mark this ground in hundreds of millions of years. In the center of the plaza there is a statue. You can barely recognize it, the features worn away by wind and sand. But it is clearly a statue, a figure standing on a pedestal, arms outstretched. Who was it? A leader? A hero? An artist? You will never know. The name, if there ever was one, is long gone. The figure stands there, armless now, headless, a torso of eroded stone. Yet it still faces the same direction it faced when it was carved, still looking out over a city that no longer exists. You turn and look back at the metallic ghosts. From this angle you can see the layout of the city. The grid of streets now just lines of slightly less dust. The blocks of buildings now just clusters of twisted frames. The parks now just open areas with nothing growing. You can almost imagine what it was like, filled with people, with light, with life. Almost. The wind shifts and a new sound reaches you. A deep, resonant hum, coming from somewhere beneath the dust. You walk toward it, curious. The hum grows louder as you approach, until you are standing over what appears to be a subway entrance. The stairs are long gone, but the opening is there, a dark hole leading down into the earth. The hum comes from below, from the tunnels that once carried millions of people. You consider going down, but something stops you. A feeling deep in your gut that some things should remain undisturbed. That the darkness below holds secrets that are better left buried. You step back and the hum fades, receding into the background. You walk on through the dead city. You see the remains of vehicles, rusted beyond recognition, their shapes barely distinguishable from the debris around them. You see the remains of signs, their letters long worn away, their messages lost forever. You see the remains of homes, of offices, of schools, of places of worship. All of them empty, all of them silent, all of them waiting for someone who will never come. As the sun begins to set, the light changes. The rust-colored sky deepens to a dark orange, almost red. The metallic ghosts catch this light, glowing as if on fire. They seem alive in this light, their twisted frames casting long shadows across the dust. You stand in the middle of the plaza, watching the light fade, watching the ghosts darken, watching the night approach. Night comes quickly here without twilight. One moment there is light, the next there is darkness. The stars appear, millions of them, brighter than you have ever seen because there is no atmosphere to dim them. The Milky Way stretches across the sky, a river of light. And in the darkness, the metallic ghosts are barely visible, dark shapes against the stars. You sit down on the steps of the ruined statue and you wait. For what you do not know. For morning? For a sign? For something to happen? Nothing does. The night is long, cold, silent except for the wind. You watch the stars wheel overhead, the same stars that humans have watched for millions of years. They are unchanged. They will always be unchanged. As dawn approaches, the sky lightens, the rust color returning. The metallic ghosts emerge from the darkness, first as silhouettes, then as shapes, then as the twisted frames you walked among yesterday. The wind picks up, moaning through the metal, singing its eternal song. You stand, stretch, and look out over the city. The metallic ghosts stand as they have stood for eons, as they will stand for eons more. They are the last evidence that humans ever existed, these twisted frames, these rusted beams. When they finally fall, when they finally crumble to dust, there will be nothing left. No sign that a billion people once lived here, loved here, died here. Nothing but dust. You walk on, leaving the city behind. But as you go, you carry the image of the metallic ghosts with you. Their twisted frames, their rusted beams, their silent vigil over a world that has forgotten them. They are the last witnesses, the last reminders, the last evidence that humanity ever was. And you are the last human to see them. You are still there. 1 billion years in the future. You have left the metallic ghosts behind, their twisted frames fading into the rust-colored haze. Now you walk into a landscape that offers nothing but itself. Flat, featureless, endless. The dried ocean basins, the dead cities, the skeletal remains of civilization. All of them are behind you now. Ahead of you lies only the plain, stretching to a horizon that never seems to get closer. You walk for what feels like days, though time has become meaningless. The sun crawls across the sky with agonizing slowness, its red light casting long shadows that shift imperceptibly. The wind blows constantly, carrying dust that settles on everything, erasing your footprints almost as soon as you make them. You are leaving no trace. It is as if you were never here. And then, slowly, you begin to notice something. The wind is changing. It is not stopping. It never stops, but its quality is shifting. The moan that has accompanied you since you arrived, the constant background noise of this dead world, is becoming softer, more distant. You stop and listen, really listen for the first time since you arrived. The wind is still there. You can feel it on your skin, see it in the shifting dust. But the sound is fading. Not disappearing, but retreating as if it is moving away from you. You stand perfectly still, holding your breath, straining to hear. The moan that was once constant is now intermittent, a whisper, a memory of sound. You realize what is happening. You are entering a region of absolute silence. Not the silence of a quiet room which is never truly silent. Not the silence of a desert night which is filled with the sounds of wind and animals. This is something else. This is the silence of a world that has forgotten how to make sound. You take another step and the last trace of wind sound disappears. The silence that descends is so complete that you can hear your own heartbeat, your own breathing, the rush of blood in your ears. These sounds, which you have never noticed before, now seem deafening in the absence of everything else. You are a tiny island of noise in an ocean of silence. You stand there, letting the silence wash over you. It is not peaceful. It is not calming. It is overwhelming, oppressive, absolute. The silence presses against you from all sides, filling your ears with its absence. You feel as if you are being erased, as if the silence is slowly consuming you. You try to speak, to make any sound at all. Your voice comes out as a croak, barely audible even to yourself. It is swallowed by the silence instantly as if it never existed. You try again, louder, shouting into the emptiness. The silence absorbs your shout without echo, without response, without acknowledgement. You might as well have said nothing. You walk on and the silence follows you. It is not a place, it is a condition. Wherever you go, the silence goes with you. You are carrying it now, this bubble of absolute quiet, this pocket of nothing. It is part of you and you are part of it. The landscape around you is unchanged. Flat, featureless, endless. But without the wind to animate it, it seems even more dead. The dust that covers everything is perfectly still, not a grain moving. The sun casts its red light on a world that does not reflect, does not shimmer, does not shine. Everything is matte, dull, absorbent. The light falls and simply stops. You realize that you are walking on the surface of a world that has been silent for hundreds of millions of years. The last sound that was made here before you arrived was probably the crash of a falling rock, or the hiss of a dust storm, or perhaps nothing at all. Perhaps the silence has been absolute for so long that even the wind learned to be quiet. You think about all the sounds that once filled this world. The roar of oceans, the crash of waves, the howl of storms. The calls of animals, the songs of birds, the buzz of insects. The voices of humans, their music, their laughter, their cries. All of it gone. All of it absorbed into this absolute silence. The world has forgotten how to make sound. It has forgotten that sound ever existed. You try to imagine what it would be like to live here, in this silence, forever. To never hear another voice, another song, another word. To exist in a world where sound is an impossibility, a memory, a dream. You cannot. Your mind rebels against the thought. You need sound the way you need air, need light, need warmth. Without it, you are incomplete. The silence is doing something to you. It is changing you, hollowing you out, making you less than you were. You feel your thoughts becoming quieter, slower, more distant. The internal monologue that has accompanied you your entire life is fading, replaced by a stillness that mirrors the world around you. You are becoming silent yourself. You stop walking and close your eyes. The silence is so complete that you cannot tell whether your eyes are open or closed. The darkness behind your lids is the same as the darkness in front of them. You are losing yourself, dissolving into the silence. And then, faintly, so faintly that you almost miss it, you hear something. It is not a sound, not really. It is a vibration, a tremor, a pulse. It comes from deep within the earth, from far below the surface. You feel it in your feet, in your bones, in your very core. It is the planet itself, still turning, still existing, still alive in some deep geological sense. The vibration is rhythmic, steady, eternal. It is the heartbeat of the world, the pulse that has continued through all the changes, all the extinctions, all the silence. It is not loud, not intrusive. It is simply there, a reminder that even in absolute silence, something continues. You open your eyes and look down at the ground beneath your feet. The dust shifts slightly with each pulse, a tiny movement that you would never notice without the vibration to guide your attention. The world is not dead. It is sleeping. And in its sleep, it dreams. The vibration grows slightly stronger, as if the planet is responding to your presence. You feel it more clearly now, a deep, resonant thrum that is more felt than heard. It is the sound of the earth itself, the voice of the world, speaking in a language that predates life, that will outlast life. It is the original sound, the first sound, the last sound. You stand there, feeling the planet's pulse, listening to its silent song. The absolute silence is not so absolute after all. Beneath it, below it, within it, there is this vibration, this heartbeat, this proof that something remains. You walk on, and the vibration follows you. It is not a sound, not something you hear. It is something you feel, something you know. It is the world's promise that it is not yet done, that it will continue long after you are gone, that it will be here when nothing else is. The landscape remains flat, featureless, endless. But now it seems different. It is not dead, it is waiting. Waiting for something, though you do not know what. Waiting for the next chapter, the next act, the next beginning. The silence is not an end, it is a pause. You walk toward the horizon, carrying the silence with you, feeling the planet's pulse beneath you. You are alone, utterly alone, but you are not lonely. The world is with you in its way, speaking its silent language, sharing its secret heartbeat. The sun continues its slow arc across the rust-colored sky. The wind, somewhere far behind you, continues its endless moan. But here in this place there is only silence and pulse and you. You are there now, in the absolute silence, listening to the heartbeat of a sleeping world. You are still there. 1 billion years in the future. You have walked through the rust-colored landscape, past the metallic ghosts of dead cities, through the absolute silence that blankets this world. Now you find yourself in a place that looks no different from any other, flat, featureless, covered in the same rust-colored dust that covers everything. But something tells you this place is different. Something in the quality of the light, in the way the dust shifts beneath your feet, in the almost imperceptible contours of the land. This place was once something. This place was once ours. You kneel down and begin to dig. The dust is fine, soft, offering no resistance. It pours through your fingers like water, like time itself. You dig deeper and deeper still, your hands pushing aside layer after layer of the endless dust. Minutes pass or hours, you cannot tell. The sun crawls across the sky with its usual agonizing slowness. The wind, somewhere far away, continues its endless moan. But here, in this shallow hole you are creating, there is only you and the dust. And then your fingers touch something that is not dust. It is hard, smooth, curved. You brush away the remaining particles and reveal it, a piece of plastic. Just a fragment, really no larger than your palm. It is white, or perhaps it was white once. Now it is stained by eons of contact with minerals, its surface pitted by the endless abrasion of wind-blown dust. But it is unmistakably plastic. A material that did not exist on this planet for most of its history, a material that humanity created and spread across the world, a material that will outlast almost everything else. You hold it in your hand, this fragment of a forgotten age. What was it once? A bottle? A container? A toy? A part of something larger? You will never know. The object it came from has long since disintegrated, scattered across the world by winds and time. Only this fragment remains, a tiny piece of evidence that something once existed here. You turn it over in your hands, feeling its weight, its texture, its improbable persistence. Plastic is not supposed to last this long. In your time, you were told it would last for centuries, maybe millennia. But 1 billion years? No one imagined that. No one imagined that the things they threw away would outlast their species, outlast their cities, outlast almost everything they ever built. You place the fragment carefully on the ground beside you and continue digging. The hole grows deeper. You are now waist deep in the dust, your arms covered in the fine powder that was once mountains, once buildings, once bones. You dig deeper still. Your fingers encounter something else. Something harder, more substantial. You clear away the dust and reveal a rectangle about the size of a book. It is made of metal and glass and ceramic, fused together by heat and pressure and time. You recognize it vaguely from museums and old photographs. It is a smartphone. Or rather, it is what remains of a smartphone after 1 billion years. The glass is frosted, opaque, crazed with 1 million tiny cracks. The metal is corroded, pitted, almost unrecognizable. But the shape is unmistakable. This object was once held in human hands, once carried human voices, once contained human memories. It was probably discarded long before the end, replaced by newer models, thrown away like so much trash. And now, 1 billion years later, you have found it. You try to imagine the person who owned it. Were they young or old? Rich or poor? Happy or sad? Did they take photos of their children with it? Did they text their friends, check the weather, play games? Did they ever imagine that 1 billion years later, someone would hold it in their hands trying to remember what they were? You cannot know. There is no way to know. The phone is dead, its data long since erased by radiation and time. It is just a shape now, a form, a reminder that something was here. You place it beside the plastic fragment and continue digging. Deeper still. The dust is getting denser now, more compacted. It takes more effort to push through. Your arms ache, your back aches, your lungs burn from the fine particles that hang in the air. But you continue. You have to continue. You are looking for something, though you do not know what. Your fingers encounter something soft. You pull back instinctively, startled. Then you reach out again more carefully and clear away the dust. What you reveal makes your heart stop. It is a bone. Not a fossil, not a petrified remnant, but actual bone. It is small, delicate, clearly human. A finger bone, perhaps, or a toe. It is perfectly preserved, protected from the eons by the dry dust that surrounded it. You hold it in your hand, this tiny piece of a person who lived and died 1 billion years ago. You feel an emotion that you cannot name. It is not sadness, not exactly. It is something deeper, more primal. It is the recognition that this bone was once part of a living, breathing, feeling human being. Someone who loved, who feared, who hoped. Someone who probably never imagined that 1 billion years later, another human would hold their bones in wonder. You place the bone gently beside the other objects and continue digging. More bones now. A rib, a vertebra, part of a skull. You are uncovering a skeleton, buried deep in the dust that was once the surface of the world. You work carefully, reverently, clearing away the dust with your hands, exposing the bones one by one. It takes hours, maybe days. Time has no meaning here. When you are done, you have uncovered almost an entire human skeleton. It is lying on its side, curled in a fetal position as if sleeping. The bones are fragile, chalky, but intact. You wonder how this person died. Were they one of the last? Did they lie down here exhausted and simply never wake up? Or were they buried by others, laid to rest with care and ceremony? You look around searching for clues. Near the skeleton's hand, you see something glinting in the red sunlight. You crawl over and clear away the dust. It is a ring made of gold. Gold does not corrode, does not tarnish, does not change. It is as bright as the day it was made 1 billion years ago. You pick it up and examine it. There is an inscription inside, worn but still legible. Letters, words, a language you can read. It says, "Together forever." You feel tears forming in your eyes. Together forever. This person wore this ring, made this promise, believed in this love. And now they lie here, alone, under 1 billion years of dust, their promise kept only by this small band of gold that will outlast everything. You place the ring beside the skeleton where it belongs. You sit back and look at what you have found. The plastic fragment, the smartphone, the bones, the ring. These are the remains of humanity. This is all that is left. A few objects, a few bones scattered across a dead world. You think about all that was lost. The art, the music, the literature. The billions of stories, the countless loves, the infinite moments of joy and sorrow. All of it gone. All of it reduced to this. A few fragments, a few bones, a few forgotten objects buried in the dust. You stand up and look out across the landscape. It is the same as it ever was. Flat, featureless, endless. The dust covers everything, hiding the remains of humanity beneath its endless layers. Somewhere out there, under that dust, are more bones, more objects, more fragments of the civilization that once ruled this world. They will never be found. They will lie there for billions more years, slowly degrading, slowly returning to the elements from which they came. You look down at the skeleton one last time. You wish you could say something, do something, mark this place in some way. But there is nothing to say, nothing to do. The person who lies here has been dead for longer than you can comprehend. They do not need your words, your tears, your remembrance. They need nothing. You turn away and begin to walk. The dust rises around your feet, filling your footprints almost as soon as you make them. Behind you, the skeleton returns to its grave, covered by the endless dust. The plastic fragment, the smartphone, the ring, all of them disappear, reclaimed by the world that has outlasted them. You walk on, carrying nothing with you but the memory of what you have seen. The dust of humanity is behind you now, buried under the rust-colored landscape, waiting for a future that will never come. You are there now. in the place where humanity's remains lie, in the silence that follows the end. You are still there. 1 billion years in the future. You have walked through the rust-colored landscape, past the metallic ghosts of dead cities, through the absolute silence, through the places where humanity's dust lies buried. Now you find yourself at the edge of everything. Before you, the land drops away into nothing. Not a cliff, not a canyon, just an end. The planet itself seems to be dissolving here, its surface crumbling into the void. You stand at this edge and look out. The sun hangs low on the horizon, larger than ever, its red light bathing everything in a warm, dying glow. It has been growing for eons, this sun, swelling as it exhausts its fuel. In your time, it was a yellow star, stable and constant, rising and setting with comforting regularity. Now it is a red giant, its outer layers reaching toward the planets that once orbited it safely. Mercury is gone, swallowed long ago. Venus is gone, its atmosphere stripped, its surface melted and absorbed. Earth is next. You are watching the final act of a drama that has been unfolding for billions of years. The star that gave life to this world is now reaching out to take it back. You feel it before you see it. A vibration, deeper than the one you felt in the silence. This one comes from the core of the planet, from the heart of the world itself. It is a shudder, a tremor, a warning. The earth knows what is coming. It has known for billions of years, ever since the sun first began its slow transformation. And now, at last, the moment is near. The planet is preparing to die. You can feel it in your bones, in your blood, in the very core of your being. The world is saying goodbye. The sun continues its slow expansion. You can see it happening if you watch carefully. The edge of the sun creeps outward, millimeter by millimeter, but on a scale so vast that millimeters mean nothing. What you are witnessing is the final stage of stellar evolution, the death throes of the star that gave life to this world. It is coming. It will not stop. Nothing can stop it. Not all the prayers of all the humans who ever lived, not all the technology they ever invented, not all the love they ever felt. The sun will have its way. You turn and look back at the world behind you one last time. The rust-colored plains stretch to the horizon, empty and silent. Somewhere out there, buried under the dust, are the remains of everything humanity ever built. The cities, the roads, the monuments, the bones of billions. The plastic fragments, the smartphone, the gold ring with its promise of eternal love. All of it will be gone soon. All of it will be consumed by the fire that is approaching. Nothing will remain. Not a single atom will be left to mark that humanity ever existed. Not a single memory will survive. It will be as if we never were. You feel a strange sense of peace. Not resignation, not despair, just peace. This is the way of things. Worlds are born, worlds die. Life emerges, life ends. The universe continues, indifferent to the dramas that unfold on its tiny stages. Earth had its moment. It was a good moment. Life flourished here, evolved here, achieved consciousness here. Humans loved and suffered and created here. They painted caves and built cathedrals, wrote poems and composed symphonies, fell in love and held their children. They wondered about the stars and dreamed of the future. They did not know that the future would be this. But moments end. All moments end. The vibration grows stronger. The ground beneath your feet begins to crack, new fissures opening in the ancient crust. Dust falls into them, disappears into the darkness below. You step back from the edge, but there is nowhere to go. The cracks are spreading, reaching toward you like fingers, like the hands of the planet reaching up for one final embrace. Behind you, more cracks are opening. You are standing on an island of solid ground that is shrinking by the moment. The world is breaking apart beneath your feet. You look up at the sun. It fills half the sky now, a vast red disk that seems to pulse with its own heartbeat. You can see details on its surface that no human has ever seen. Roiling clouds of gas the size of continents, darker patches that are the size of planets, streamers of plasma reaching out into space like the arms of some cosmic creature. It is beautiful in a way that is almost unbearable. The star gave life to this world. Now we'll take it back. The circle is closing. The story is ending. The heat begins to increase. Not suddenly, but steadily, inevitably. The rust-colored dust around you begins to glow faintly, then brighter. The rocks are heating up, radiating the warmth back at you. You feel it on your skin, in your lungs, in your very core. The planet is warming for its final embrace, its body temperature rising as death approaches. The air itself feels thick, heavy, charged with the energy of the approaching star. You think about all that has happened here. The billions of years of geology shaping and reshaping the surface. The emergence of life, that impossible miracle that should not have happened but did. The evolution of consciousness, of awareness, of the ability to wonder at the universe. The rise of humanity with all its triumphs and follies, its art and its wars, its love and its hatred. The long decline, the slow fade, the final silence that settled over the world like a blanket. And now this, the end of ends, the final moment, the last breath. You are here for it. You are the witness. The cracks are widening. You can see glowing rock deep below, the mantle of the earth, heated by the approaching sun. It is rising, pushing up through the fissures, ready to meet its fate. Lava begins to flow, slow and thick, oozing across the rust-colored surface like blood from a wound. It is the planet's blood, finally released after eons of containment. It flows toward you, around you, cutting off your retreat. The rivers of fire surround you, their heat so intense that you can feel your skin tightening, your hair singeing. You step back again, but the lava is everywhere now, flowing around your island of solid ground, surrounding you with fire. You are trapped, isolated on a shrinking patch of rock that will soon be consumed. The heat is intense, blistering, but you do not move. There is nowhere to move to. You are here, and here you will stay until the end. You look up at the sun one more time. It is so close now that you can feel its gravity pulling at you. You feel lighter, as if the Earth's hold on you is weakening. The planet is being stretched, distorted by the immense gravitational field of the star that gave it birth. Tides of rock rise and fall, mountains crumble, continents shift. The world is in its death throes, and you are here to witness it. You are the last human, and you are seeing the last thing any human will ever see. The lava reaches your island. It touches the edge, and the rock begins to melt, to flow, to join the river of fire. Your island shrinks further. Soon there will be nothing left. You close your eyes and feel the heat, feel the end approaching. It is not terrifying. It is not sad. It is simply what is. You think about all the humans who ever lived, all the generations that came before you. They looked at this same sun, felt its warmth on their faces, planned their days by its rising and setting. They never imagined this end. They never imagined that the sun they depended on would one day consume everything they loved. They thought the world would last forever. They thought their children's children would inherit the earth. They did not know. But you are the only human who will ever know. You are the witness, the one who will see the end and remember. Even though there will be no one left to remember to. Even though your memories will die with you. You remember anyway. It is what humans do. The island is almost gone now. You are standing on a patch of rock no larger than a table. The lava surrounds you inches away, its heat so intense that you can barely breathe. You close your eyes and wait. You wait for the end. And then, in the moment when you expect to be consumed, something changes. The vibration that has been building suddenly stops. The lava stops flowing. The cracks stop spreading. Everything stops. The world holds its breath. You open your eyes. The sun is touching the earth. Not the edge of the sun, not the outer atmosphere, the sun itself. Its surface makes contact with the planet, and the planet begins to dissolve. Not explode, not shatter, dissolve. Like a sugar cube in water, like a sand castle in the tide. The earth is returning to the star that made it. It is a homecoming, a reunion, a final embrace. You watch as the crust melts away, revealing the mantle beneath. The mantle melts, revealing the core. The core, that solid ball of iron that has spun at the center of the world for 4.5 billion years, hangs exposed for a single moment. It is beautiful, this core, glowing with the heat of creation, pulsing with the last remnants of the planet's life. Then it too begins to dissolve, its atoms mixing with the solar plasma, becoming part of the sun. And you are dissolving too. Your body, your consciousness, your very being, all of it is becoming light, becoming energy, becoming part of the star. It does not hurt. It is the opposite of hurt. It is release. It is freedom. It is the end of all endings. You feel yourself spreading, expanding, becoming one with the fire. You are no longer a single point of awareness. You are everywhere, in every photon, in every wave, in every particle. The last thing you see before you become one with the light is the Earth's final moment. For an instant, the planet's core, the last solid remnant of the world that was humanity's home, hangs in the solar fire. It glows with an intensity that is almost unbearable, a final flash of light that carries the memory of everything that ever was. Then it too dissolves and there is nothing left. No earth, no world, no home. just the sun burning on, indifferent and eternal. You are gone now, dissolved into the star that gave you life. Your atoms mix with its fire, become part of its fusion, will someday be scattered across space when the sun itself dies. You are part of the universe now in a way you never were before. You are everywhere and nowhere, everything and nothing, the witness and the witnessed. The observer has become one with the observed. The sun continues its expansion. It will grow larger still, reaching toward Mars, toward Jupiter, toward the outer darkness. It will consume everything in its path, erasing the solar system that once existed. The planets that will be no more. The asteroid belt, the Kuiper belt, the Oort cloud, all will be swallowed or scattered. The solar system will become just the sun, alone in space. But that is for later. For now there is only this moment, this end, this dissolution. You are part of it. You always were from the very beginning. The atoms that made you were forged in stars, scattered across space, gathered on this planet, assembled into you. Now they are returning home. The circle is complete. Earth is gone. Humanity is gone. You are gone. All that remains is the light. And in that light there is peace.